gentlemen. My name is Gadir Kiyal. I'm an assistant professor in the Business Administration Department and the Dean of Quality and Accreditation. With great honor and pleasure, I welcome you all to this wonderful occasion of our college's second annual Graduate Business Program Convention. I would like to welcome our esteemed panelists, faculty members, alumni, guests, and students. For our esteemed guests, thank you for being here, as I know many of you have traveled just to be with us today. For our alumni, I know time does not stop for anyone, and it takes a lot to take some time out of your busy schedule to be here, and for that I thank you. But one thing I can assure you is that at the end of this day, you will miss your college days. For our faculty members, thank you for your great support to the College of Business Administration. I truly like to use this opportunity to offer our sincere thanks for your unwavering commitment and unending efforts. For our students, we hope that one day we will celebrate your milestones as we celebrate the milestones of our graduates today. I believe our college has become one of the greatest institutions in the region. To elaborate about the college's achievements, I would like to introduce our esteemed colleague, Dr. Alia Zafir, who will moderate the first session today. Dr. Alia.
COBA Business Administration Programs Convention, and welcome to the grand launching of the PMU Harvard MOC of Business Administration Affiliations. We are really happy to have you here, and we look forward to our important sessions today, our important figures, guest speakers, and hopefully we will enjoy this wonderful event. Let me introduce myself. I am Alia Zafir, an assistant professor of management, and also I am a member of the PMU Harvard MOC affiliation. So I will be moderating the first session, including our Dean, Dr. Sotirios, and also the Chair of Business Administration Programs, Dr. Bassem Nasri. We will also be discussing the COBA Graduate Business Programs development and its great achievements so far. We will be also discussing some of the notable alumni, having you here, the witnesses and the success stories, part of contributing to our great success and achievements of the graduate programs. For the panel, I would also love to share with you that we have very good news to discuss, including our COBA Research Center, some of the international agreements and affiliations with notable universities around the world. We are discussing many of the trendy topics, including the smart cities, industry clusters, considering the transformation and revolution that is happening nowadays in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. For example, that the great cities of Neom and the Line, and linking that to our great models developed by our Dean, Dr. Welcome our panelists, Dr. Sotirios and Dr. Bassem Nasri. If you can come to the stage, please.
Sorry, I have to take off my jacket.
So, of course, we would like to start with our great dean who has done a lot of transformation to the College of Business Administration, Dr. Sotirios. We really would love to hear the good news about our PhD program. And so, would you like to tell us more about it?
First of all, thank you, Dr. Bassem, Dr. Alia, for this wonderful event. I want to welcome all our guests, speakers, VIP guests, and students, faculty, alumni, everybody that contributed a little bit or more to COBA. We have some very important developments in the program. As you know, that PMU has not a very big, long history. It's about 16 years. But in these 16 years, we managed to do a lot. And also, not to do a lot, also to develop strategically. So we plan based on a strategy, on a vision, not on a paper, but on practice. So our mission is totally our research and also into whatever strategic developments we make. So, like an example is the UPSD program that we are starting, that we got the green light from the ministry and will soon start enrolling students. And this is an achievement based on what will align with our mission, which is has two things as a thought of leadership. It goes green entrepreneurship and green finance. So this is part of our alignment with our mission, and of course, this will provide us an impact to society. So not only teaching and giving degrees here, but also try to provide an impact. How to build sustainable enterprises for the next years to come, that the whole world will face problems, with the climate change and all this stuff. So we have to adapt the way we think it, the way we build our businesses, the way we build our leaders.
The second important issue we want to know more about it is COBA Research Center. Would you like to tell us more about it, please?
So in alignment again with all the strategy, we're starting our COBA Research Center. We're planning again to have the support of the Deanship of Research. So we'll actually have to hire specific people only for research and postgraduates, postgrad students and faculty members. So our research will be actually directed toward for us to also transform our research as a faculty and align our research with an alignment with the mission. So yeah, that's an important development. This is like an auxiliary to PhD. So the research center will support the PhD students in their research with the resources, specialized faculty, and tools, whatever is needed there. Thank you.
How about any update about the CSP accreditation? Because we all look forward for it, and we're sure soon, hopefully, we're going to hear the good news.
Yeah, this is accreditation with business schools is a very long story. It's not like the other colleges. Like for us, it goes like 5 years cycle. So you have to go to continuous improvement. So we reach at the point now we have the final step, in the accreditation process. We're aligned with all the standards. We did a lot thanks to our faculty, to our students, alumni, staff, everybody. But to me, like personally, accreditation is just a paper. What is important is to utilize this accreditation, to learn how to be better. And this is all, I think also WCB looking forward to that, to see improvements in our operation, in our management, in our governance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Soterius. Maybe now we will give the floor to our guest if you have questions about the PhD program. Brief question, because also we have our panelist, Dr. Bassem. So anyone have a question, or should we leave the question to the end? Okay, so just think about important questions to discuss, and because today is revealing all the good news. So starting is the chair of the Business Administration Program, MBA and EMBA programs. Also same here, PMU, MOC, Harvard affiliations. And recently, actually, we had a very interesting trip to Ireland, Dublin, taking one of many actually of our graduate students to that conference. So the College of Business Administration attended the 23rd European Academy of Management Conference. Delegation of PMU faculty members and also many of our MBA, EMBA students attended that, and most importantly that we have a specific track which is called Saudi Arabian Matters, and this is really one of the biggest achievements that we can present our papers to show all the research, all the transformations that is happening, because all the world actually they want to know about what's going on in Saudi Arabia. So having this chance through our research by our students, it's really a big achievement. Dr. Basim, would you like to tell us more about it, please?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Ali. Thank you, Dr. Sotirios. Why I'm very shy actually. I'm feel so much honored to be in front of this lovely crowd. Thank you so much. It's a privilege for us to have this lovely crowd. Our dear advisory board members, thank you really so much. Dr. Hussam Al-Qaisi, you came all along from the Islamic Bank, Development Bank from Jeddah. Thank you so much. We're still expecting actually two vice presidents, one of our graduates. We will introduce them very shortly. Mr. Salah Al-Taibi, thank you so much. So we have also Mr. Sultan from the National Bank of Kuwait, and I don't want to forget anyone, Mr. Imad. We are very much privileged. She came all the way from the Ministry of Economy in Riyadh. Thank you so much for being with us. This is really a lovely crowd. You know, all of this event, what is the purpose of it? Is this crowd actually. We are trying to create excuses to bring you here. So really, thank you so much. I know many of you are now, and they want to, these seats of the university are very close to their hearts. So we are bringing you back here. We want to listen to you. We want to hear from you. We want to engage with you. We want to interact with you. We want to tell you what we are doing, and we want you to tell us what we should do. Right? This is how we develop. Actually, Dr. Alia, the graduate business programs, when I took over, I'll be very frank with you, there were probably the total, Dr. Sotirios, probably not more than 18 or 20 students in both programs, MBA and EMBA. Alhamdulillah, we now have more than 200. So how much percent? And this was only in 3 or 4 years. Alhamdulillah. Of course, this is all because of you. Thank you, our students, our graduates. Of course, this is while this is on one hand a reason to bring our business people, our leaders from the industry, but also we want to bring our students, our graduates, and tell them what we are doing, and we want them to tell us what has the programs done to them. We are going to listen to some of the witnesses. Sorry, Dr. Ali, I will be back to your question. Actually, this what Dr. Ali just mentioned is really one of the things that we have achieved last year. You know, I have been a member in the European Academy of Management since around 11 years. I learned most of it here in this lovely kingdom. Thank you, Saudi Arabia. I always say that for teaching me whatever you have. And I'm here so much pleased to share whatever I have learned from this country. You know, part of what we are doing is internationalizing PMU. Alhamdulillah, PMU has achieved so much in terms of ranking, in terms of employability of our students. I mean, alhamdulillah, mashallah, our students are number one in Saudi Aramco in the top companies. And Gayand, you told me how much your colleagues at the ministry told you about our university. Alhamdulillah, our reputation is very high. But this is all because of the continuous development that we are doing, doing to our programs. And this is all because of you, actually, ladies and gentlemen. You create the success. Okay? Your successes are our successes. When our graduates assume executive positions in the industry, this comes back to us when our students present a research at the end of their MBA or MBA program that offers solutions to their organizations and they get promoted. We really feel very proud of this because this is what we mean by engagement between the academia and the industry. I'm an entrepreneur myself. And entrepreneurs make things happen. When I was last year last year, the EURAM conference. This is the European Academy of Management conference. It was in Winterthur in Switzerland, and I'm part of the Entrepreneurship Strategic Interest Group. So, what is the name of this track? It's called Saudi Arabia Matters. This is the name of the track. Why does Saudi Arabia matter? Because the whole kingdom is by itself a case study. The big changes that are happening, that are taking place in this country since 2016, mashallah, the transformation program, and the long list of changes that are impressing the world and scoring very high scores on multiple things in entrepreneurship and in competitiveness and in sustainability and in green management. I mean, we have here the biggest ride, the biggest world's biggest green foresting project, right? If I'm not mistaken. And I mean, the world has been impressed. Yesterday we were with my dear friend Pablo in Ithra, and oh my God, he really, is this Saudi Arabia? Yes, this is Saudi Arabia. And what's lovely is that they are trying to tell the world that, hey, this is our culture. Probably, you know, people thought they had some prejudices, some stereotypes about the kingdom previously, but Ithra is telling the people, is telling the world that these achievements are done by this culture, which did not change. Okay, so this, we feel proud of this. Actually, I come from Lebanon, but I feel more Saudi than Lebanese. I always say that, if I may. So this track, Dr. Alia, actually was an achievement. Alhamdulillah, we received more than 24 papers, Dr. Sotirius, you know that, and 19 papers got accepted in this track. For the very first time in the history of the European Academy of Management, around 13 years, a special track about a country, and this country is Saudi Arabia. I mean, you know, oh my God, this is really something new. Yani we are bridging a gap in the literature. We are telling people something new. So this transformation, this Vision 2030 brought along with it so many stories, very interesting stories that are worth telling. Inshallah, we are going to publish all of these. So this was what we have done in Dublin. Of course, Dr. Alia was with us, Dr. Mirna was with us also, Dr. Ghadir. We were 12 from PMU, 5 faculty members and 7 students and graduates. Mr. Salim was with us. He presented a paper about Saudi Aramco. And mashallah, Mr. Salim is doing his PhD. So, alhamdulillah, so we have things to tell, and of course, with our affiliation with Harvard, many of these cases are going to be published in Harvard Business Review, and through our affiliation with Harvard. So, yes, this is what we have done, Dr. Alia.
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. 19 research paper. It's really amazing. Would you like to add something?
Yeah, there is another call soon for the next track, like Saudi Arabia Matters. So I think we'll publicize it soon, right? So
yes, actually,
so
we got
I accept
accepted
to
for the
set
second
some
year.
research outcomes to be published in from different universities in Saudi Arabia. So pretty soon we'll have a call of interest for this track.
Dr. Sotirius, let me ask you about our agreements, international agreements with Arizona, and also if you want to tell us more about the PMU Harvard MRC briefly, what would you like to tell us, please?
Yeah, networking is very important in universities. This networking has to be in strategic level, not just any university. So we try to find complementarities, but also we have agreement with smaller universities that we have the same vision, we share the same, let's say, structure, number of students, and the same societal impact. So we did some agreements with Sasin University, which is a graduate business school, with Tallinn Tech in Estonia. We're also planning to sign an agreement with University of Florida. So we try to find different complementarities. So these agreements will actually benefit our students, our faculty, our mission, and in general to receive mutual benefits in exchange of staff and faculty. And this is another area that we try to develop how to exchange students and faculty too. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we will leave the floor to our guests. If you want to ask Dr. Sotiris or Dr. Basim any questions about the topics we just discussed. Anyone have a question? Okay. Ms. Nada Dosari. Yes.
Next session is
Ms. Nada Dosari. Yes.
next session is we told you we are proud of you, our students and our graduates. We are proud of the successes that our students make when we hear about what they have done. And today we are planning, are scheduled to have with us on stage two of our graduates and one who is still currently a student. All of them are from the EMBA, which is the Executive MBA program. The two ladies actually they did not arrive, but she just texted me. They are on the way. Inshallah, we hope that they will be with us. But we have one of them now, who is Mr. Imad Zahrani. Mr. Imad, please come to the stage. Join us. Thank you. Mr. Imad is the Vice President in Ishraq Development, mashallah. And Mr. Imad is currently doing his final research project. He is done with everything, just working on his final research project. And mashallah, your research is on the transformation, right? In cultural transformation in the Ministry of Education, mashallah. This is a very interesting topic. Of course, Mr. Imad, I know Mr. Imad when he was previously also Vice President in Sharqiya Development, if I'm not mistaken, and he started this new company. Imad, we are proud of you. I will leave the floor to you to tell us, please, and tell everybody, what has the Executive MBA program benefited you? What did it give you? How did it change you as a person? How did it or did it not contribute any solutions, for example, to your organization, to the industry? I will stop talking and I will shut up and leave the floor to Imad. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Basim, for giving me this opportunity today to be here in front of all these communities, guests, and the students. Actually, I will be, inshallah, proud of to be one of the BMU graduates on executive MBA program. And just if you allow me just to go back previous my career or earlier in my career. Actually, what I do myself is just putting like 5 years plan every 5 years. What I'm going to do as a personal objective. What's next for me? In the last 5 years, I decided to complete my MBA, and I gone through many universities across the kingdom, either outside the kingdom, to look what the best fit me as a Imad, based on my current engagement, family situation, etc. In my research, I found that BMU, especially the Executive MBA program, suit me, and from the repetition, a lot of the graduated that had been interviewed and hired, I decided to join them. Only from that experience, and the program has been set on the website. So alhamdulillah, it was a great choice. When I joined, it was a disaster period. I joined the beginning of the COVID, and it's like a disappointing engaging the online session. A totally different story. We find the real methodology of the program delivery, and it was very helpful for me. Especially the program is depending not only on with the book and the material, just more into engaging the student on that case studies, learn from each other, and it was very shifting my career, frankly speaking, or my knowledge, which has helped me, of course, in my career. And it's impacted me, especially when it comes to the financial capabilities, financial competencies, entrepreneurs, marketing, strategy, etc. I really, I start recommending that program to some of my colleagues around me, and one of them joined me, and some of them, they graduated with the same year that I graduated. Alhamdulillah, that was a great selection, and I really I hope that, of course, there is some area of improvement, and everywhere. Hope that development and the university will continue, and we'll see this kind of programs in the top rank, inshallah, kingdom and the world, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you so much, Mr. Imad. Actually, you just reminded me of something that I missed to say in our first session, the case study methodology. You know, in all of our MBA, or in all of our graduate programs, the MBA, the executive MBA, we don't use the classic teaching method. We try to bring, what we do is we bring the real life to the classroom. So which means professionals like Imad to share with us their experiences. We want whatever they learn, we want you to go and apply them in your organizations. Okay, probably suggest a new way of doing things, probably suggest a new process, probably start a new product, develop an existing product, financial solutions, for example. One of the most important things that we follow is سمعونا يا جماعة عاملين زحمة يا دكتور يوسف. Okay, sorry. Is the case study methodology. So what we do is two things. Number one, of course, not two things, so much more than two. We analyze real life cases, and we use the most recent cases. And of course, through our affiliation with Harvard, we use the most recent Harvard cases as well, analyze them, and give the opportunity for our students to compare whatever they have seen to the Saudi contexts, to industry contexts, to their organizations, for example. Number two is the research that you are doing is by itself something new. So you make sure, just like when you start a new product or a new service, you need to make sure that you are adding value, that you are minding a gap in the market, that you are solving a problem, that you are following a certain trend, right? When you do research, you do the literature review, and so you are adding something new. Your research will, inshallah, have very high opportunity to be published. When you do research about Saudi Aramco, mashallah, Mr. Salim was able to get the permission to mention Saudi Aramco in his research. This is not easy. People working in Saudi Aramco, they know how much your story. What have you done? And and of course we need to thank Abir because she just gave birth to a baby, mashallah. Alf Mabrook, despite that. She came from Riyadh.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doctor. And also I want to thank the faculties and
the board who also have very high attention not only to the ex-graduates from PMU but also to the current students. They always want to be ahead of market, always prepared, and we are closely engaged to Mr. Dr. Bassem and the faculties to also give them anything trendy in the market. We try to help and let's say elevating the uh, graduates programs. Now, this is maybe the conclusion of the story, but my story is very interesting actually. When I started the master's degree, I was probably end of 2016, and you know the big jump from that era until today in the kingdom and how women's situation generally in the market has changed big time. And so I can say that maybe I did it the hard way rather than having the opportunities now maybe more let's say open, and they are encouraging not only women but also talents in general. يعني. So we can see a lot of graduate programs in the organization. They're competing to have the best. They're always competing to elevate the leadership skills. We can see young people holding really sophisticated, hard positions. Like we can see young ministers, they're only 37, for example, today, right? And the reason is the appetite of our government, where they want to invest in the Saudi talent. Point A at Al Hassan, point B in Dammam. So I used to take the bus every Thursday, go to the hospital in Dammam, and then I take an Uber and I come to campus and I study, and I finish by 10 p.m. while I was, awake since 6 in the morning, so I can catch up work and go to college. I didn't have social life at then, but the passion was amazing. I found myself at PMU. I found myself at the campus. I found myself at the library with the case studies, with the the things happening at PMU. The faculties were amazing. Like, we thought this is going to be difficult because business is difficult already. And we have work, we have social life, we have demands, and these demands are growing every day. So adding to this, studying, and it wasn't easy for me because I didn't come from business background. I studied English literature in the college. So going to also doing a business degree is another challenge because I have to do things from zero, right? In no time. So finishing one intake in 1 month, and then you have to take a final exam, and a lot of work. You can imagine, yeah. And myself buried. I remember sometimes I go to college with I actually no sleep. When I remember these moments, it actually means a lot to me, and I'm really proud of the hard work that I am gaining the fruits for today. I'm only 33. I have almost 12 years of experience in a managerial level, almost advisory level at STC now. And I know I have high potential. I'm very happy I'm here because I wanted to do something for the not PMU only, for the society in general, to at least motivate.
Thank you so much. Ms. Abir, actually, I remember in the international business course that I taught you, I actually had the pleasure, like what Abir said, actually, the executive MBA takes place, the classes take place over 2 weekends. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Friday, Saturday, and then the third Saturday is the final exam. 1 week break, and then another course starts. It's intensive, of course, but was it enjoyable?
Very enjoyable.
Right.
It makes you problem solving and innovative all the time.
Indeed.
You have to make it.
One of the projects one of the loveliest projects actually that have been presented was a project by Abir and her very good friend Hala. When Hala is it?
It's supposed to be on the way.
Okay, we were supposed to have with us Hala al-Musbih. Hala al-Musbih, mashallah alayha. She is now vice president at King Salman Energy Park, Spark. She's one of the ladies we are really proud of. when she was in the course, ما كنت عارف إنه I did not know that she has ما شاء الله that high potential. But of course, when she presented her project, the project was an international business plan about a product, and it was really something different, very creative. And so I thought to myself, these two ladies will become really, they have high potential. And of course, very, very shortly afterwards, I think she became director. And then it was what I would love to have left the floor to her to talk about. But let me, now that she's not here, I hope she joins us. She did her research clusters. We will talk about clusters in a short while with our reputed guest of honors today. And I remember at that time, the management attended her defense. Probably in addition to you, bro. Did you attend the defense? Yeah. Okay. Right. Yes. And so the management attended her defense, and then I heard that 1 week after the defense, she became vice president. She got promoted. I don't know. Was it because of the research? Probably. I don't know. It must have been research. Probably. I'm not sure. But yes, when you offer solutions, when you contribute, when you develop, this is what we need actually. This is what we need. We need to that our students learn whatever they learn and they go apply them. But then we also want to hear back from you, which is why this event. Okay, because every second the world changes, and it's a blessing from Allah that changes are there, right? With changes come opportunities. So we would like to hear from you what's happened in the world. We represent the academic perspective. I myself, I come from the industry, as I told you, which is why I enjoy telling my stories to my students. I hope they enjoy them. Right? Okay. But yes, we would like to hear from you what happened, how things developed, so we see what we need to do, how we develop our programs, what new things we need to add, what things we need to improve, what things we need to do in a different way. Right? And this is what keeps our position, alhamdulillah, leadership position as a university. We are really proud that our university has achieved high. Dr. Shadir said 16 years. I have been 8 years in this university, 50% of the age of the university. But yes, inshallah, it's only 16, 17 years, but going in a very quickly, but surely. Okay, أكيد يعني. I don't know. Would you like to talk about HALA طالما دي منا هون يعني anything that you'd like to add?
If you allow me, I can talk about how the MBA degree in general transferred me in this way. Because I cannot speak on her behalf, but
Yeah.
you have highlighted
now that you are my best friend.
Yes, you have highlighted very good about her background, but she's on the way, so maybe we can give her a few minutes. Anyways, having an EMBA in general, but specifically in PMU, I think transformed me in many ways. Not only in the know-how, let's say, the technical knowledge that also you need in the today's business, but in the mindset. It shifted my thinking. It shifted the way I see things. It makes me wear many hats when I'm in HR, right? But I can wear the business hat easily now. I can see things from different perspectives. What the CEO thinks, what probably the board is interested in, what is the competitors are interested in. And that's why I'm not sure if everyone here are MBA students or potential students. But if you are a potential student, please go ahead with it, especially in PMU, because this is a place where you study and you're stuck forever, but in a good way. So I'm happy I did it and made many good connections. The reputation is also in my CV when I go present myself as a female in an executive meeting or a Malcolm meeting with people have been in a long time in the industry. They see the quality of the learning. They see the quality of, I think I sometimes, I go to, sometimes I refer to some case studies that we had before. I remember like the Everest case and a lot of cases I loved the case studies they do. And I think it's also something we probably brought Dr. Basim's attention to before, that we can give definitely fresh case studies from the market that happened recently, especially for transformation of the 2030. And this will prep also the students to be more, let's say, ready. Allow me to share my experience also on what you might want to focus on, especially in the upcoming 3 or 2 years. Whatever is happening in the market is booming everywhere. And the major two things maybe they're focusing on is digital transformation for sure, fintech and entrepreneurship. I can see this is going everywhere, even corporate entrepreneurship, because even if you don't want to be an entrepreneur, you have to think like an entrepreneur within an organization, because it's all about innovation and becoming, not only good at what you do, but innovative at what you do. And this is something I gained from the EMBA, to be innovative and work. So this is probably a piece I can conclude with. And thank you so much for having me today. It was a pleasure.
Actually, I want to add something. You are modest, Abir, because Abir, she was talking about entrepreneurship, and as a trendy topic, Abir was last year in Switzerland. She presented her thesis there in the European Academy of Management conference, and now it's inshallah under publication. So inshallah, you will see it published. So thank you so much.
But it's a great pleasure to be with you today, and I really appreciate the kind invitation. PMU has a special place in my heart. I have been following, mashallah, your progress, your great achievements and successful stories, and I'm also proud to be part of COBA, External Advisory Board Council. So, and I have one of your graduates working with us at Imam Abdurrahman bin Faisal University. Ms. Haifa Bassam, as a faculty member. She got her master's degree recently from London School of Economics in the UK, and she is, mashallah, one of the best. So, and I have some of my best friends and colleagues working here. So I'm looking forward. I don't bring competition, by the way. I believe in healthy competition. I have been, based on my position, I am responsible. I used to be responsible for the postgraduate programs at my college, College of Business Administration, Executive MBA, and other programs. I can see some similarities and differences. Nevertheless, we complete each other. So yeah, let the competition bring the best. In all cases, we all serve one purpose for the sake of science, for the sake of our beloved kingdom and humanity. Once again, thank you for this opportunity, and sorry I took so long.
Thank you so much, Dr. Huda. Actually, you reminded me of another student of mine, Basma Zamil. Does she work for you? Basma. Basma. Okay. بسمة was also an MBA student. EMBA صح كانت معكم هلا وعبير ولا right? Yes. Okay. طيب I don't know. Now that we have Hala with us, Hala al-Musbih, we spoke about, everybody knows. Would you like to have a seat?
That's right. Thank you, Doctor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First, sorry for being late, and I'm really happy to see you all, and it's always a pleasure for me to come back to PMU. طبعا I don't call it university as much as I call it home. I studied here my bachelor, I did my master's as well, and I studied, I taught as well. Yeah, I'm a colleague, and I worked as well. Inshallah. I'm looking forward for the DBA degree. I didn't prepare any speech for the day, but I'm really happy to be part of this convention and to meet annually with my colleagues, my mentors, and with every one of you in here. It's been it's always a roller coaster in life, right? Between your studies, between your work and everything. But it's always a worthy of an experience. يعني, when I did my master's and when I completed my executive MBA degree with PMU, it wasn't easy. It was a very tough couple of years. But after that, proudly, I was promoted to be vice president. And I'm considered the youngest in the field, I believe. And it's not easy to be a female leader in this era and in the oil and gas or energy sector. But alhamdulillah, with my experience with PMU, I managed to overcome all obstacles. And I'm sure that many of my colleagues in here whom I studied with or whom are studying right now the program or who passed it already know what I'm talking about. So I'm really happy to be with all of you today in here and always good to be back. Thank you, Dr. Bassem, for giving me that.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hala. Actually, I really feel them 2-3 minutes to reply me, to send me an email back. We are honored. We are pleasure. I mean, we are privileged to have you with us. But this tells how much business people, how much leaders would love to share their experiences back with the academia. And of course, we look forward to hearing from you. The same happened with when I invited Hala and Abir and Imad. Of course, يعني ما بدها سؤال. You need not ask. Of course, this is our home. And of course, thank you so much for your contribution. So our last session, I'm not going to take that long because I know when I said food, this means you are hungry, so I should make it fast. Our last session today, this is not any convention. This is actually a very special convention. Why is that so? Because this convention is synchronized with announcing our affiliation with Harvard Microeconomics of Competitiveness Global Network. Actually, we have signed this agreement with Harvard in October 2021. From that time on, we have been working on what we call soft opening mode. Okay? Today is the grand opening. Today is the grand launching. And of course, when we signed this agreement, we invited everybody at PMU and told them what we have done, and Pablo was very kind to have been online with us. And of course, soft opening mode. But starting from today, we are going to officially announce, and of course, announcing this means a list of functions. What are these functions? This is what our dear guests of honors will tell us. Please join me in welcoming Professor Pablo Colazzo and Ms. Gayane African. Actually, I should have done this before. I missed it. Okay, but I know them. Professor Pablo, of course, is the chair of the Microeconomics of Competitiveness at Harvard School of Business, the Institute of Strategy and Competitiveness. He is actually one of the founders. And of course, when we say the Institute for Strategy and Competitiveness, we mean Professor Michael Porter. Any business major here, of course, you know who Michael Porter is, the big figure. He is actually the founder of this network. This network comprises 120 universities worldwide. So PMU, by having joined this program, is one of these 120 universities. This, of course, they are very selective. Professor Pablo is also in the Harvard Hall of Fame. So we are proud to have you here with us. Of course, Professor Pablo is advisor to the United Nations UNIDO, right? If I'm not mistaken. And of course, he comes from very prominent career backgrounds in PricewaterhouseCoopers and in JP Morgan. Professor Pablo is a full professor in economics and sustainability now in Vienna in Danube University in Austria, and also in Uruguay in what's the name of the
University of Montevideo.
Yeah, Montevideo. That's right. Okay. And so thank you, Pablo, for being with us. Gayane, of course, comes from the industry. So the loveliness of this session is that we have the educator and we have the graduate of the so we will see both perspectives. Guyane African, I actually had the pleasure of having met you. Of course, I have to say Pablo is actually you, Pablo. From that time, we became good friends. From that time, we do research together, we publish together. And of course, he taught me a lot of things, which I am thankful for this. Thank you, Pablo. Okay. Gayane actually is comes from the industry. She is advisor at the Ministry of Economics and of Economy and Planning in Riyadh. After having been a vice president at PIF, Public Investment Fund, and then after having spent 13 years in Dubai government, if I'm not mistaken, right? Guyana actually is one of the. I met her in Boston when I was in Harvard, and she was a speaker there, and they invited her to talk about what has. So what I'm asking my students here, they asked the same. Guyane actually has a master's in from Harvard Kennedy School of Government. This is her specialty, the government. Okay, and she also has a master's, an MPA, Masters in Public Administration from London School of Business Economics. Yes. So we are here today to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, what is this affiliation about. We have signed this agreement with Harvard School of Business Microeconomics Competitiveness, what we call MOC. So what is MOC? This brings, and of course there's going to be a course that's called MOC that's going to be taught at the graduate level, inshallah. It's not just any course, it is a very special course. And we have, along with this agreement, a long list of activities and functions and services that are offered to the public sector and the private sector. What are these? We would really love to tell us more about this, Pablo, please.
That has been underway for a number of years, and I was pleased to support you throughout. So we are very glad to have PMU in our community. MOC stands, as you probably know by now, for Microeconomics of Competitiveness. We are a global community of 120 plus by now universities centered around the institute at HBS, working on economic development. So we work on competitiveness, sort of connecting dots, connecting public sector policy making with private sector initiative, and we try to sort of unleash or identify the drivers of productivity. It's all about, we are all committed to really support and play a role in unlocking local development. We are a very diverse network, and PMU brings a lot of value with its the quality of the institutional quality that it has, the quality of the students, alumni, and the quality of the faculty and the research that you carry out here. And what you were highlighting is indeed very much in line with our agenda in terms of promoting sustainable development. So sustainability is very much at the heart of what we do as a network. We look at development through different levels of geography. So we look at the country working here. The region, the East Province is a living laboratory for everything that we stand for in terms of development, sustainable development. The Vision 2030 in terms of overcoming natural endowments and really sort of unleashing the potential of the region and the country altogether in hitting new heights based on intangible and the quality of the people that you train. So looking forward, we are delighted to have also a more institutional note, if you will, on behalf of the whole network. Delighted to have you with us, and looking forward to the next chapter. Thank you.
Thank you, Pablo. We are really delighted, and we are really looking forward to seeing the long-awaited functions and activities making the change. And it is just the right time, if I'm not mistaken, right? It's just the right time here in Saudi Arabia, like what we said, I mean, with all of the changes, with the transformation, with the whole economy changing to a less dependent on oil economy, and with the high interest at the government level in competitiveness, in sustainability, in shared value, right? These are, and when we say Michael Porter, we talk about the diamond, right? The Porter's diamond of national competitiveness. That's right. Okay. So remember, Abir and Hala, we learned this in international business. Okay. So yes, indeed. We hope. يعني in Arabic we say نركب الموجة, right? It is of course as a lady and with this highly reputed degree that you have had, we would really like to hear from you. What has this? What happened that you came? I mean, I was surprised. She said when she said in Boston, I'm based in Riyadh. Really? When I was in Boston, actually, remember everybody thought I'm Saudi because I was trying to promote Saudi Arabia, talk about Saudi Arabia. But then I was surprised to know that Gayan is actually based in Riyadh. Before, after having based, please tell us about your experience and what has MOC. You have taken this course, right? We would love to hear from you. What has MOC that as a course benefited you, please?
Thank you so much. First of all, let me tell you that it's an amazing privilege for me to be here now in front of you, but also it's an unbelievable, definitely once in a lifetime privilege to be right now in Saudi Arabia. I came here by choice after working and having wonderful experience and achievements with Dubai government, and I knew that this is the time not to be missing all these changes and being in the middle of changes in Saudi Arabia. Now, after the amazing stories of the ladies, I feel humbled to talk about myself, but let me share to answer to your question. I have been a practitioner. I love academia. I went to university actually 3 times. Just in case you're wondering, I'm Armenian from Armenia, because I'm sure a lot of times people think, where is she from? She has a face of a region from the region, but a strange name, so it's an Armenian name. So academia always, ladies, testament to it, always recharged my batteries, allowed me to reflect upon my experience and process my own experience, which we don't get the chance to do while we are working. So going back to my microeconomics of competitiveness, I was a student of Michael Porter while I was a student at Harvard. And today during the lunch, I told Professor Bassem and Pablo that when I took the course, I suddenly realized that that's exactly what I'm taking away from Harvard. Because having been a practitioner and valuing very much academia, I wanted to be equipped with practical tools to go and apply the academic knowledge through practical tools to make the changes in the reality. So this microeconomics of competitiveness course equipped me with this kind of knowledge and tools. And we are actually in the ministry, and Dr. Bassam mentioned yesterday when I was telling my colleagues at the Ministry of Economy and Planning, and I'm very privileged to work with the government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I mean, it's amazing. When I was telling them that I'm going to visit Prince Mohammed University, they were going like, wow, so you're famous. we at the Ministry of Economy and Planning, we are actually launching using the knowledge, and I will also talk about the network and what this network means. We have launched a cluster project to basically map the whole kingdom in terms of understanding where are clusters, what kind of clusters we have, basically identifying through statistical data, concentration of businesses in one clusters and cluster frameworks, which this microeconomics of competitiveness course will equip your future students with, gives you practical tools to actually fill up the gap in the next level above the sector and national level policies, because it's very location specific, it's very ground based. You look into the ground and you identify where are the gaps and you address them. So it's very practical in that sense. The network and this course, congratulations first of all, because this is going to equip your future students with very practical tools and very practical knowledge, and it's critical in this moment because Vision 2030, unprecedented. I am saying this not because right now I'm in Saudi Arabia, but I have studied the world history and economic and industrial transformations in the past 100 or more years. In terms of rate of change, Saudi Arabia's transformation is the fastest in terms of rate of change. It's the fastest in the last 150 years, for sure. I'm sure our distinguished academicians can protect. And this is because even though ladies highlighted that there are challenges, but I'm telling you, listening to ladies who went through these challenges, it's because your population is so ready, has been so ready for so long. I asked one time one of my Saudi friends, we were dining together in Diriyah in Riyadh. It's like you're transformed to another world. You have historical part and then you have modern part. I asked Hanan, how did you manage? Because I've been to actually Riyadh in 2009, 2010. I visited while I was in Dubai. How did you manage to adapt to such a radical change? You should be proud of.
Actually, talking about this, when I was in Dublin last past June, I presented a paper. My colleagues know that, about the contribution of patriotism to business competitiveness, and in Saudi Arabia. The contribution of patriotism to business competitiveness in Saudi Arabia, and we just got accepted to present this paper right in Boston in the coming. Alhamdulillah, congratulate us, please. So what I wanted to say is that, of course, one of the things I said there is that I have never seen any country celebrating the National Day like Saudi Arabia, mashallah. This is lovely. This is amazing. This tells, and people ask what happened. Probably I lived in Saudi Arabia more than 15 years ago, and I know this did not used to happen. This is part of the changes that are happening, right, Gayan, Pablo, right? So this patriotism, this national feeling, and does it contribute to national competitiveness? Of course, I would say. This is the idea that came to my mind actually when there was this accident in Abqaiq in Saudi Aramco. You know what I'm talking about, right? And one of my students, EMBA students, was in charge of the repairs that happened at that time. You know what happened at that time? Everybody thought that Saudi Aramco's share in the market will go down. Actually, this accident makes Saudi Aramco. And he was explaining to me, my MBA student, what happened about all of these things. And I asked him, why? Why is that so? What happened? How were you able to do that? And he was explaining to me how much people were working night and day with brain and heart. Why? He said, come on, this is our country. This is Saudi Arabia, right? So this is the secret, I would guess. And of course, this is what we're going to to learn more about this. Please, in the car when we were coming, Gayane and Pablo, one of my friends is a businessman, and I was doing a consulting project for him. He said, please, Basim, I was meeting with him, the first meeting. He said, the first thing I want you to take is these 5 thick books. What are these thick books? He said, these are the products of the previous consultant. I don't know what he did. Okay. So we were discussing in the car about how much the approach of the MOC is more of a practical approach. So we would like to tell us more about this, Pablo and Gayan, please.
Yeah, indeed. The value proposition is to connect the two drivers, which are the policy choices, and again, Saudi has over the last many years that have led to this kind of launch of the 2030 vision, embrace this change. So the policy, connecting the policy choices with the private sector, because ultimately productivity, which is what drives competitiveness, is a firm level outcome. It happens in firms. So what we discuss in the course is how to make it happen. How to, you recall that we always talk about sort of connecting dots. So the course is a bit of a sort of capstone in which you recap on a strategy, on economic theory, on public policy. So it was initially designed. We designed it back in the day as an MPA course, and so it fits perfectly the curricula here at PMU, and the idea is to identify how to make it happen within firms, and to engage and to sort of unlock development from a bottom up perspective. This is what we were discussing in the car, indeed, how to really drive change from the micro level, from firms, and sort of escalate it up all the way to the region and to the nation. And indeed, as you were highlighting and also in the introduction, but Saudi is now kind of a living lab. It's a living laboratory for what we've been studying. We see this change underway. We are always in the look to add to the network institutions that can bring that knowledge and that experience. So we are again delighted to have you. And the launch of the course and hopefully also the development of local cases, another initiative that is in the making. So this is a case-based course. So the MOC is a case-based, very much in line with your teaching approach in the MBA and the management that we also led for a number of years, are also at the heart of this project. So looking forward to engaging.
Thank you, Pablo. Yes, I actually missed to say that it was Pablo who introduced me to this European Academy of Management. I told you he's my mentor. Thank you, Pablo. Okay. One of the things we were discussing also, of course, like what Gayane told us, is that I was surprised when I invited Gayane to be with us. Of course, she said, "Of course, you don't need to." So thank you, of course, Gayane. But she said, "Hey, Christian Kietels was there. Christian Kietels is actually the leading figure there in after Michael Porter. He was with us here in Riyadh. Doing what? MashaAllah. What are you doing?" She said, "We are now doing a cluster mapping project across the kingdom." That's lovely. Of course, so Saudi Arabia coming to our network, we are doing this to the kingdom. We feel proud, we feel privileged. We'd like to tell us more about this. Or we want to again, like what I asked Pablo. What do you think? what is the practicality? What are the solutions that the MOC offers?
Before I forget to follow on one point of Dr. Pablo, we all know, whether in industry or academia or government, we always want to do benchmarking with best practices around the world. What is happening right now in Saudi Arabia, we are the best practice because we are doing things, and I'm saying this because I have worked in many countries, mashallah, as you say, 34 years in many different countries. In terms of the vision, in terms of aspirations, in terms of also execution. I mean, in terms of the whole change. So we are setting this best practice, and your course will come up with a lot of interesting case studies, I hope, locally, that would be best practice for the rest of the world to learn. Because economic development has gone through many different changes, but this change is new, is unique in many senses. So the practicality of the course. First of all, again, I want to comment on the network and what I believe it will bring to you, to university, and to the kingdom. The network comprises of practitioners, people like myself, who has been educated and trained, but is practicing it on the ground, and the government. There are practitioners also from business. Network brings also educators like Dr. Pablo, Dr. Nasser, or people from academia. A network brings also business executives and politicians. I mean, to make any change, any economic change, any reform, you need all of this group of people to come together and bring their own perspectives, because each of them, each group, each segment has their own perspective, their own interest. This network brings all of these people to brainstorm and constantly. So the knowledge in this network is very, is not static. It's not just they know the theory, they have the practice, and that's it. It's constantly evolving because the network has these amazing people who constantly are creating new experiences. So that's one thing. Another thing is that we are doing it now in the Ministry of Economy. We launched with one of the leaders of the network, Dr. Christian Kettles of Harvard Business School, the cluster mapping, and eventually it looks into here and now in this specific location, not just across the whole country. It looks, for example, a concentration of businesses that makes up specific sector cluster. You can name it. Pharmaceutical cluster or any industrial cluster. In that specific location, these tools that you will be teaching to your students, these tools that Dr. Pablo has been researching, the tools that I have been using after have learned it from Harvard, is enabling us to zoom into the reality on the ground and see all the players in the ecosystem and understand where are the dots that needs to be connected. Sector level policies are amazing, they are necessary. Every country has it and must have it, but cluster level policies are enhancing the execution of sector level policies by focusing on each and every location. I want to give this example because it was an eye-opening for me, even though I know Dr. Christian Kettles since 2005. He was talking to government officials and sharing his experience from Boston Life Sciences Cluster. It's basically the biggest pharmaceutical hub in the world now already. He moved to Boston in 2000 to join Michael Porter at that time, to start working with Michael Porter. And in 2000, there was one only global pharmaceutical company, I think it was Pfizer, that was based in Boston. In the year 2000, Harvard still was Harvard as it is now, MIT still as good as it is now. I mean, there was nothing wrong with ecosystem as you would think of, but there was only one. If they were not equipped with the tools which now I'm equipped, which the course here will be teaching to future students, they would not see the blind spot, or they will have a lot of blind spots, which can happen naturally, right? So they try to understand why the other big companies not coming. They have all the best graduates here from Harvard, MIT talent pool. They have all the business environment, they're one of the best in the world, etc. They gathered all the different stakeholders, academia, businesses, government, politicians, etc. And through brainstorming, and also they interviewed global pharma companies around the world to understand why they're not rushing into Boston. I was such a benign reason that it was not picking up. And only these tools would enable them or anyone to see what is it. So the reason was that for Boston area, to create this critical mass of pharma, global pharma companies, these pharma companies would rather have startups and come and locate through buying startups. So who would have thought that in San Francisco or in other locations, pharmaceutical clusters form in different ways. So it's location specific, right? So what they did, very easy, not much government investment, not much changing regulation. They activated the startup ecosystem. So every startup was coming out from MIT or Harvard was being taken by these big pharma companies. Eventually, now 20 of top 20 pharma companies are located in Boston area. It only took them to understand what is the missing connecting point in that specific ecosystem. So this is the practicality of
us an idea about how much this course, this approach will offer. Of course, we are not only talking about at the academic level, but also services to the private sector, to the public sector, as Gayani told us. Of course, Professor Pablo will be on board with us to structure, to establish this course here at PMU. You will, inshallah, hear from us about when this course will start. It will be offered at the MBA and the EMBA level. We'll let you know later on. Of course, thank you, Pablo, for your contribution. And of course, I thank you, Pablo and Gayani, for being with us and sharing your experiences. It is lovely. We are honored and privileged to have you. Allow me, please, to offer you a certificate of appreciation from PMU. Professor Pablo, thank you so much for being with us. This is just a token of appreciation of your efforts. Thank you. Gayani, thank you so much. Really thank you. You traveled all the way from Riyadh to be with us today, and you do it with pleasure. So we really appreciate this. And of course, academically, professionally, we will learn from you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pablo. With this lovely crowd, with our dear friends, the advisory board members, we really appreciate the effort and the time that you have made to be today with us. It's a privilege. Inshallah, we will stay in touch with you about the developments. And now I will not talk much. Let's move very quickly to the cafeteria because there is very delicious food waiting for us. Please, thank you so much, everybody.